Hey everybody, I have many books and maps that we're going to be using today. It's kind of exciting. Plonk them there because you can just about see them then. Carnage, absolute carnage. I've emptied, well, I haven't emptied my shelves, that's a complete lie. Welcome to our weekly live session. This is the reboot session. So I tell almost myself that because I have done so many live sessions in the last few months. It's just like, oh yeah, which one is this? But really excited to be here. I know that many folk are going to jump on in the next few minutes because I think I get a notification that it goes live. Popcorn. I want some popcorn. Please send me some popcorn. Yeah, anyway, how is everybody doing? It would be lovely just to hear on the side. We have been doing a scale 1 to 10 of how we're doing. 10 being on top of the world, 1 being really not so good at the bottom of the world. Yeah, if you want to leave that in the comments on the side, that'd be super cool. And today what we're going to do is sort of run through, I'm going to give you a wee update. I'm going to have a bit of a sad story coming. It's not the salty stuff, good popcorn. I'm going to, yes, give you a bit of a sad story, a bit of a health update from my part, tell you some of the things that have been going on, because it's always quite nice to do that. And then we're going to jump into maps and guidebooks today. Why? Because I feel like it's very important that, or the whole point in this reboot series is to help people feel supported in getting ready for 2021. It can seem very overwhelming, you know, as we're slowly being given permissions to go and do things and actually, you know, going shopping and all of these different things, being surrounded by people is suddenly actually quite overwhelming for people that never used to be overwhelming for, let alone planning trails and adventures. And I know for a lot of people, you know, you guys have been watching a channel, you've been watching other people's channels, and actually this is your first year that you sort of wanted to get out, you've wanted to do stuff. But you are now not able to, or everything is a little bit different. So how are you going to do that? Sorry, I'm just keeping an eye on that because I've got potentially a phone call coming through, which I can't take anyway. So there we go. Just want to be able to hang up on it. I have tea. I hope you do too. Have you got tea or coffee? Let me know on the side. I know a few of you guys someone's got popcorn. I'm very jealous about that. Also have a multivitamin. Also have some water. Why? Because hydration is important. And because I'm not drinking enough and I'm permanently getting migraines. I don't think that's just from not drinking enough. I think it's just from being generally overwhelmed with my life. But anyway, I can see there's a tea coffee debate going on. And those of you tuning in, we're just doing a little 1 to 10 on the side. Please just hello and welcome. Let me know how you're doing. 1 is you're really not doing so good and you definitely need to pick me up. And 10 is you're on top of the world. How's Dave? Yes, everybody, shout Dave. So if you see David Barnes on the side, that's my dad. And it's really nice because he tunes in. Dave has a bad back at the moment. He has actually not been able to get up and move around at all. So we all need to send some love Dave's way and hopefully he'll feel a little bit better very soon. He'll be tuning in, I'm sure, hopefully. He'll be blue. His picture on the side is normally blue, so keep an eye out for that. Anyway, nice to see some higher numbers. Ian's got chocolate milkshake. That's rather fancy. No tea or coffee. Patrick, come on. A few of you guys have got water. That's fine. Of course, it's fine. It's not don't drink water. Very good, very good. Cool. So I'm going to have a wee recap of what we did last week. I don't actually have my paper on me, which is frustrating. But we sort of looked at fundamentals of health. And, you know, as I said right earlier, and by the way, this beginning part is always just like, because I'm basically, you know, I'm watching the numbers go up, people are tuning in, and I don't like to rush. I want to make sure people are jumping in and get the full spiel. So just a little recap of the reboot session. So I decided to launch these reboot sessions because I feel very strongly 2020 is an amazing opportunity, that we don't have to be crushed by COVID. We can actually really use this time to build ourselves up. And I find it really kind of funny and ironic because, you know, right at the beginning of the last lockdown in March last year, I felt like a lot of people started speaking up. They got on in it as a trend to, you know, push some kind of health and well-being thing and, you know, this fitness trend and do this meditation app and yada, yada, yada. And there's absolutely a lot of truth in that. But it almost felt as though there was a shaming that came through that if you weren't doing those things and using this time well, because essentially you got knocked down with your mental health or you lost your job or whatever, carnage was going down, then you felt ashamed because all these other people on Instagram and stuff are, you know, like, oh yeah, look at me, I've lost £3. I don't work in pounds, so I have no idea what that even equates to, but whatever. And it's now over a year in that we're sort of really being able to see who's adapted things that are sustainable, who's actually using this time during COVID, this really uncertain, you can use all the jargon that's been used, unpredictable, never heard of before time, and is coming out actually stronger. And I feel like I'm definitely one of those people, and I'm really extending my hand to you guys. I think a lot of people went quiet during COVID because they're just basically trying to survive, and that was definitely my default. But I also have a community of which I'm leading and I'm responsible for, and that is you guys, and this is me being here showing up for you. So the Reboot series is essentially now here in the UK. We have some dates. I'm going to recap this every session, by the way, because it's important. In April, May sort of time, things are slowly going to go back to normal. I'm going to come to that in a minute. But essentially, I'm sorry, I'm really just struggling with my back today. Hence the story that's going to come your way in a bit. You know, we were allowed to go out, do X, Y, Z, see people, yada, 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 go back to work, whatever it is. And it's overwhelming for a lot of people because a sort of change is really hard for most people in general, and that's perfectly okay. Change has, you know, the cycle of change. I've been talking with a good friend of mine about the cycle of change. She's really helping me understand it and unpick it, not only for myself, but being able to see that in other people. You know, I can bring in the cycle of change. For example, when we introduced the Abbie and Anna show to the channel, a lot of people didn't like that because it's not your standard hiking thing. So yeah, and people had frustrations and like go back to hiking. And it's like generally they're probably upset because it's change, it's something different. But, you know, the truth is actually what I was doing was going back to the core of who I am and my values. And obviously having the Abbie and Anna show really helped that. So the Abbie and Anna show, of course, goes live publicly on Friday. We may end up pushing that back, just a wee heads up, because we've had to reshoot it. We had some technical issues, and basically our first take got destroyed. Thank you, camera. So we had to reshoot that today, and that will be edited kindly by Anna in the next couple of days, ready for Friday. So that's that wee announcement. Second wee announcement is we have, actually it's not a wee announcement, drum roll please. We are releasing the hoodies. The hoodies are going on sale on the 19th of March. That is a Friday. I'm going to be doing a special live session at 6:30 p.m. or at 6 p.m., whatever, on Friday the 19th of March to announce the release of these hoodies. A certain group of people are going to be able to get these early, but I'm going to talk more about that next week. So yeah, I'm super pumped. These hoodies, just to give you a lowdown, we have had so much trouble getting hoodies made, but it's something I've really wanted to do. We are absolutely passionate about having all of the products that we offer on the store free wild. Bear with. Anna? Never mind. Just gonna have to ignore that. There's a very important phone call that I just can't take right now because it's also very private. So sad times. I really hoped it was going to come through before 6 o'clock. All right, back to the hoodie spiel. I feel a bit disappointed about that. I'm just gonna have to swallow it. Take one moment, deep breath. It's okay. I can take the call tomorrow. Yes, rationalization. I'm growing in myself. Okay, so I'll actually tell you what it's about. It's not that private, whatever. So hoodies. Get with the program. So we're launching the hoodies on the 19th of March, 6:30 p.m. They'll be available publicly. They're going to be available for a limited time. And we have a very, very limited stock. Why? Because it has been a massive deal to get these hoodies made. So they are 100% organic cotton. They're hand printed by our friend Ellie. We can source everything where it comes from. There, as you can see, they've got this nice like cuff on the neck area here. They've got these super fancy dangly things. It's got your organic brand on the side. The pockets, it doesn't go all the way through, so there's a blockage point, so they're just literally like trouser pockets, so they're so comfortable and so nice. They're not the thickest sweatshirt or hoodie, and that's what I really like about them. Is I'm somebody who doesn't like thick things, except my Viking shirt is the best shirt, or jumper. Like, so you can wear these on generally like spring is the best season, and even summer, you know, a chilly summer day, you can wear these easy peasy. As for winter, you know, as I say, they're not the thickest thing, but over a t-shirt, they work perfectly. I've got a t-shirt on underneath here. Not that I need that right now, but yeah, so absolutely love these hoodies. Obviously, I would not put anything out from the store that I'm not very proud of, and it has been a lot of work. We've tested so many different hoodies in December last year. We had like all the samples come, trying them on, pros and cons, and you know, I could not deviate away from the fact that they need to be organic and basically have no impact on the planet, which is what I'm really proud to be able to say. So it's the thing is, obviously that comes at a price. Unfortunately, you know, when you're doing things that are good for the planet in terms of buying stuff, it does cost a little bit more. And obviously I'm not going to tell you anything else about it. Everything is going to be on the store on the 19th. You won't be able to access it till the 19th. So make sure you're ready to click on there on Friday the 19th at 6:30 p.m. But of course we'll have another live session between then anyway. I'm pumped, man. I'm so pumped. We've also got another product which is going to be going out, which is a surprise product. Patreons know what this is. Please don't say. But I asked them their opinion about some different products, and we've chosen together. It was an outstanding rule of this is what we're going to have. So I've ordered some of those. Yeah, and it's just so exciting because this is essentially an experiment. You know, it's literally just me pretty much running wild. Anna dips in and out. She's very, very helpful, you know, and again, she pretty much oversees all the store stuff. I just wear the things. And, you know, we sort out the products together, but they're just here in our house. Like, so we had so many different ideas of products and things we like, but we're not going to just jump on things for the sake of it. We're not just going to have some plasticky, cheap baseball cap or some, you know, nylon fleece that, you know, washes out into the planet, whatever. Like we want to have high quality stuff. So that's my little spiel on that. So put that date in your diary. Super, super important. Yeah, and I think that sort of brings us up to speed. So I can see numbers have really gone up. Hey guys, welcome. If you've missed the beginning, please let me know on the side how you're doing, 1 to 10. For myself, how am I doing? I am, where am I? What am I doing? I'm probably 10 being great, 1 being low. Honestly, right now, in terms of pain, I'm about 2. I'm in a lot of pain, which is I'm just going to be moving and just doing all sorts of weird things because I have to. I don't have my heat rub anywhere nearby, which is really sad. I want to give you a wee update on the health situation because I know a lot of you guys have been really kind and generous with your words as I've been sharing the struggles with my back. So a little update for those of you guys who are new. This is not a woe is me. This is what I'm dealing with right now. So I have been diagnosed. I've had an MRI. I paid for it privately. I had one on the NHS that came up with nothing. Paid for it privately a year later, and it comes up with a whole A4 sheet of things. I have 5 bulging discs in 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 of my spine. So basically here and down to sort of the joint where your neck joins your shoulders. I also have 2 bulging discs in my lower thoracic spine. And these are essentially causing intense neuralgic pain from all the way down here and all the way out to here, and then basically down to here. So it varies as to where it is in any particular moment. Right now it's kind of everywhere and it's horrible. You know, it's got worse and worse over the last couple of years. In particular, I've had osteo, I've had physiotherapy, I've had acupuncture, I've had, what else have I had? All sorts of different things, and nothing is really helping because it's neuralgic. And I wanted to give you a little update. So I think I've said, I can't remember if it was a Patreon live or a YouTube live once upon a time, but I'm really just not somebody who takes medication. You know, I've tried it a little bit on and off for my mental health in the past when I've just not had the support around me. But again, in general, I'm a big believer that, you know, a lot of things can be treated holistically, not everything. And please, like, this is just my personal opinion for myself only. But, you know, I take St. John's wort for my head. I don't know if it actually does anything or not, but it's kind of just helpful to feel like I'm doing something. And then so I've stepped down from my fight against medication because I'm absolutely desperate. So I saw a back specialist at the beginning of January who's been a nightmare to get hold of again. I probably should pay him at some point anyway. And he has said there's nothing they can do. They can't do any steroid injections. They can't operate. Also, if they were going to operate, they'd go through my throat, which is a terrifying proposition. So no. And, you know, he's only sort of inferred what could possibly be wrong. And I felt very frustrated because I felt like he didn't look at the whole MRI. I paid for the MRI of my cervical and my thoracic. And I feel like I want everything covered to rule everything out, but it's just not happening right now. And he just wanted to talk about hiking, which was really frustrating. And this is something I find when I go and see people on a professional level. I put on a mask, I put on a front, it's a performance mode. People want to know what I do and I tell them. And then I just like kicking myself, like literally, because I want people to hear my pain. And he did a few little tests, and then he's like, well, there's nothing we can do because we don't really know what it is or where it's coming from. And I'm just like, oh, because I can't wear a backpack anymore. I can't wear anything. Sometimes clothes are too much on my back. And like right now, what have I done today strenuously? Nothing at all. And I am, well, if you're going to flip the scale, I'm feeling like 8 or 9 right now in terms of discomfort. Like, it is horrible. Saturday, I had my most painful day of my back of my entire life. I was curled up on the sofa, like bawling my eyes out. I felt so alone, and I felt so unseen, and I was just in so much pain. I mean, that was 10 out of 10. Like, never mind snapping my elbow. I can remember that pain, and that was just nothing. Like, and it's really hard because he's just saying, oh, it's possibly just, something you've grown into and you're going to have this for the rest of your life. I'm like, no, I'm not. Give me some good news, man. Like, because I need to know what my plan of action is. And I don't know that. There's nobody steering me. And I don't even feel like I have somebody to hold on to who's like a rock of encouragement when I need it. And it is, but we do have slightly different, I don't know, fields of interest when it comes to personal health, and I am exploring the holistic side a little bit more, and that's fine. Like, I really struggle with the energy stuff. It's not that I don't think it's real at all, but I really struggle with what's placebo, and I find so many of the advertisements for these things, it's just like, well, just because you're saying something doesn't mean it's true. And I'm also a big believer that science is fact and purely experimentation, and I'm just sort of sat in the middle. And all I just sort of need is I don't even know what I need, the pain to go away. So that's my back. The other thing is, you probably can't see it. This hand is just destroyed. The camera's not really picking it up, but you can see the particular red spots. It's gone down a lot now. So it's not arthritis as far as I'm aware, because a couple of years ago, last year, I think, I had some blood tests and there's no arthritic value in there. The only thing is there is mild arthritis in the base of my spine. So that's fun. And also early onset scoliosis. So my spine is basically screwing me over big time, but we're trying to be pals. As for my hand, it's really painful because all of these little red bits, basically, they are being treated by my body in terms of the response, like burns. And I think they're, well, I don't know what they are. Like, on my pointy finger, they're on the joints. But when you like touch them, the joint doesn't hurt at all. It's purely the skin. It's the skin that's very inflamed. This sounds fine. This sounds just chilling, but this one's like, and it's no fun. This finger, you can really see the growth there. So it particularly comes on when it's cold. It's not gout either. No, I'd be completely shocked if I had gout. So I really don't know what it is. And it's very difficult to handle. Like, again, just having my hand feeling like it's permanently on fire is quite uncomfortable. So yeah, that's my sort of health update. And then Monday, I wanted to be completely honest with you. I had the nearest to a mental health crisis that I've had in over a year, and it was absolutely terrifying. And I was at work. I was on my own here. I was really, really unwell and very vulnerable at my own hands, getting completely caught in old mental processes. And it's so funny because, physical pain is very all-consuming, and I'm in chronic physical pain. But you can take a clearing from that. There can be a bit of a pause depending on the situation. Even like laughing for me can actually take me out of my body, and it means it doesn't hurt as much. But then when it comes from mental anguish or emotional anguish, it's so deep, it's so all-consuming. And Monday was absolutely terrifying, and I think it's come off the back of a lot of things, and I'm not going to get emotional. It's not happening. But it was a very hard day, and I'm still feeling exceptionally fragile. Like, yesterday I sort of pulled myself through, and today I'm just really trying to take it steady. So but the reason why I wanted to talk about this is because I feel like I am growing and I am learning, and just because I'm falling into these old states, which honestly I can't even talk about it because the terror within me is so real. Because I know where those places can take me, and that could just be game over very quickly. Because I'm not myself, I slip into this state of extreme paranoia. believing everything is made up. You know, I still, even to this day, even just when I'm like normally myself, if I walk into a room or I get in a car or anything, my first thing is I look for A, how I can get out, and B, if there's any cameras, because I was absolutely obsessed as a kid that I was just being experimented on, that my life and my reactions were purely experimentation and everything was being documented. And I really struggle with that when I fall into a mental space. Suicidal ideation. Also, can I just say, sorry, trigger warning for people, please just look after yourselves. I am going to talk about mental health in just a little bit more detail. So right now you've got a couple of seconds just to jump off. Meanwhile, I'll take a sip of tea. Also, someone asked me what's in this. This is just a multivitamin, nothing fancy. I don't drink, so there we go. It's also not urine. Sometimes I love being me. In fact, I can do that on a live stream. Yeah. All right, so let's get back to the mental health thing. You gotta laugh. So yeah, I struggle with suicidal ideation. All of this, the self-harm temptation comes out, and it's really hard to describe. For me, I just call it the hole, but it's just, I feel like there's nothing can get me out. That everybody is just completely fooling me. And basically, I'm almost become hysterical in the fear that I'm going to end my life, because that's what's happened so many times before. I've tried to do that. And I've talked about in these live sessions that as of July last year, I chose life for the very first time. And now it's really difficult because the anguish and the battle within me is even more real. So I managed to get through Monday by the skin of my teeth. And yeah, here I am today. And so it's just tricky because obviously I'm trying to run a business full time. I'm trying also managing my mental health really is a full-time job. I don't say that lightly. I've mentioned it before on a few podcasts, but it's so real that, you know, everything I do is, I'm so blessed that I've built my own business, but it's come out off the back of endless hardships and essentially doing everything I can to stay alive and survive. You know, it's very easy for people to think I'm living the ideal life, but if I couldn't do this, like I think I could categorically say I would not be here. I can't assume, but based upon why it has become a thing, that is why. So, and then as for my back in particular, I really just don't know what to do. I'm trying to think about this year because I don't know if I can actually backpack. That's the honest truth. It's really difficult. It really hurts, to be honest with you. It really hurts because it's like, you know, for some people when they're processing emotional stuff, they'll just sit on the sofa and binge watch TV. For other people, you know, whatever. For me, it is backpacking, and I haven't been able to backpack pain-free for many years. And I always wonder why I'm desperate to go backpacking, but at the same time I dread it, and it's because of the pain. And I can't tell you, if you don't know what it's like to live in physical pain all the time, it's kind of no wonder that my head is just being completely screwed over right now. So I don't know what to do. Basically, in terms of, I will get backpacking again. I will. I can't not, because that is my soul food. But I am absolutely desperate to find some help. And, you know, I've thought about the sports psychology route and see if there's a sports psychologist who can just sort of help me with pain management and my mental health side of things. And I just don't know. It's really tricky. And I do feel very on my own doing this journey. And it's just funny because I'm in the process of writing a script for a new sorry, I just had a quick look at the chat. Shouldn't do that whilst I'm trying to talk. What was I going to say? Great, there is Kai. Also, where is Dave? Can we just have another shout out for Dave, please? Come on, you've got this. Where's the sentence? I don't remember. Anyway, yeah, just been trying to pull it all together, and not just collapse in the heat, basically. But it's funny because, you know, I'm a very high functioning person, and it's been my nemesis during trying to get treatment for my mental health, because writing script, thank you. And basically because I'm able to do things no matter how struggling I am, whether I'm on a 1 on the scale of mental health or 10 on the scale of pain, I still just get on with things because that's my way of coping. And wild and working, or even just reading, it gives me that sense of purpose and meaning that pretty much nothing else does. I love learning. I love connecting with people. I love making a difference. Why would I not want to do that? If I end up lying on the sofa and not getting out of bed, like, I've given up, you know? And so long as I keep showing up, no matter how much pain I'm in, that is my fight, and I'm not going to stop. The day that I don't get out of bed, like, that is bad, you know? Especially because I'm a morning person. So yeah, I was saying, like, I've been in the process of writing a script. I sort of just voice noted it so far, about essentially the inner conflicts of being a YouTuber, of being a filmmaker, especially when your brand is essentially you, because, you know, you want to document everything, you want to show up, you want to stay true to the brand. But the truth is that balance between also just being consumed by trying to look after yourself, it's really difficult. And, you know, anyone who's self-employed will know that, you know, you can't just take time out. You can't just stop. If I stop uploading for a month, like I did in December, like, there was a massive knock on subscriber rates. That's absolutely okay, because numbers are numbers, and I'm also not seeing them as numbers. They're people, and that's fine. It's the consistency that matters. I've done my journey with that very publicly with you guys. But it's really hard, because if you don't put in the work, you don't get the results, you know, and things can go backwards. And when you put in your entire life's work into something that's online that people can access, it leaves you feeling very vulnerable, and it leaves you feeling quite trapped and stuck. So it's something, again, I'm doing a journey with. But, you know, Monday really frightened me. And what I like to do now is talk about the things that I've learned on Monday, from Monday, that I reflected on Tuesday. I'm just going to drink some water, tea. Essentially, there is water in it. So basically, the main things I took away is that, first of all, where do I start? So some of these are very personal. They're not going to mean a lot. But the first thing is, you know, I can message Anna. As I say, this is quite personal. I can't message Anna if I'm struggling. I generally don't type. The hand is one reason. I leave voice messages with people. I can message her if I'm struggling, no matter where she is, and she can reply whenever or whatever. That's something I can do, and I can also do that with the other people in my network. But in particular, I'm learning to trust one person at a time. The second thing is that these are just going to come out in a random order, okay? So one thing I actually ended up doing was I strive, when I'm in that place of struggle, to just find things to distract me. I mean, it feels like I'm in this whirlwind of a vortex. If I have to do something, I have to do something. I have to do something, because if I don't do something, I'm going to end my life. And it's really, really scary. And I get very agitated. I get very anxious. I get very upset. Everything is basically triggering for me. And I'm pacing around the house, or I'm lying on the floor staring at the ceiling, or I'm bawling my eyes out, or I'm just like pinching my skin. Whatever it is, it's really hard. And I really wanted to get cycling, because I'm trying hard to get into my working day. I'm like, if I can just find a flow, then I'll be okay. Find a flow, be okay. Try some editing, that's not happening. Try some podcasts, that's not happening. Try some scripts, that's not happening. Try some emails, I can't put a sentence together. And it's really tricky, you know. So I ended up trying to get on the bike, 1/2 mile. We live on a hill, so basically if you don't go up, you go down, and it's proper down. So I go down, not even 1/2 mile, and I fall off my bike because I'm so dissociated. I had no balance. I wasn't seeing, and I hadn't even properly got changed to get on my bike and go out, because I'm just in this like intense state of survival. And basically I fall off my bike. I have no idea really what happened, but it was on a very steep hill. So I skid down the hill, not all the way, but I skid on it. And I have a wonderful bruise on my inner thigh right now and my lower back. And not that it matters because it hurts anyway, but I've pulled my neck muscle here. And I ended up wheeling the bike back because the drop handlebars, you've got the gear shifts and the brakes. So it dented in. So I got back because I needed some flat road to like bosh it back in. In the process of doing that, I like skinned my fingers. So anyway, that was that. And then I decided to go for a walk. And I know that, previously in the past when I'd really struggled, I would always have Bobby and Penny with me. Bobby and Penny are my dogs. Penny passed away last year on the 19th of June, 2 days after my birthday. Crap day, to put it bluntly. Bobby, Yes, he's a good lad, but he's 12. He really struggles with the walking. And because Anna works on a Monday and a Tuesday, I take him with me on my morning walks. I don't want him to be on his own. So anyway, I take him out for a second walk and we just go really slowly. I'm very conscious of him and his health and his well-being. And I carry him. So we sit in a field because I just decide I can't go home because I'm going to do something stupid and I don't even know what I'm going to do. So then we sit, and then he's getting cold, so then we walk, and then we find a nice sunny spot on the side of a hill. We've gone up this steep hill and we sit there, and I sit there and I cry, and I'm completely paralyzed. I can't move. I can't leave this spot. And I'm there for about 2 hours trying to just calm myself down. Like everyone's saying, let go, let go, let go. And I don't know how to let go. It's something I'm learning. It's something I'm learning to calm myself down and be with myself in a situation. And I learned that actually I can tell myself that I'm loved, that someone loves me. And it's weird. And at one point, I said it a couple of times, at one point I actually believed it. And, and I'm trying so hard to get this mental dialogue going in an event of a crisis, because I have a good mental dialogue going most of the time. But once I'm in a crisis, it's like, okay, I've fallen off the wall here and I'm in a million pieces and I'm screwed, and I would like someone to be there, but I also don't. And so, yeah, being able to say that, somebody loves me, and being able to, I'm scrolling through my phone. I'm like, who can I call right now? And there's no one I want to pick up the phone to. There's no one I feel like I can call. I don't need to call any of these crisis lines. I've that's a chapter of my life I'm done with. I've had a care coordinator. I've been in secondary care. I've tried bazillion medications. Like thank you. I am loved. And that's the simple truth. And I'm enough just as I am. And I don't need to go through that random spiel right now. But basically, so some of the things that I'm learning as I go through this is, that first of all, I can tell myself that I'm loved. Secondly, I'm trying to let go of the pressures of the day. If I'm in a mental health crisis, yes, sometimes turning to work can actually be the best thing for me. But if that's not sitting right, if that's just not happening, I have to let go. I have to look to other things. And if I have to just, in order to stay safe, especially on a sunny day, sit in a field with Bobby and just be in whatever way that is, whether I'm breaking apart or not, then that's okay. Because even lying there, I'm just constantly thinking, she's like, I was supposed to edit this podcast today. I have to train because I have this expedition and yada, yada, yada. And you guys obviously see the outward face of what I'm putting out in terms of projects and ideas and stuff, but there's so much more. There's a massive expedition on the card that's going to happen at the beginning of next year that is basically beginning now, and I'm having to liaise and sort plans and works now. And again, I still feel like I don't have that network of people around me who, it's growing, but I'm a very ideas person. I'm a very expressive person, and if stuff stays stuck inside of me, it just stays stuck until it explodes. And anger is a new emotion that I'm having to deal with. There's a lot of anger coming up, and all I want to do is freaking punch the walls, and I have on a couple of occasions, certainly in the past. And it's all these old tendencies coming up. So I've learned that I've learned to really try and just tune in and be like, okay, if I'm having a crisis right now, survival is the most important thing, not whether I get a podcast done or whether I make a Zoom meeting, because that's completely irrelevant if I don't make it for the rest of my life, and I have a purpose here. I kind of need to stick around. Second thing is that, telling myself I'm loved and just slowly, bit by bit, trying to feed that in if it's relevant. Third thing is being able to message somebody honestly and truthfully. I have a very small 2, 3, depending on the day, collection of people in my life who I know I can message and who will hit the spot for what I need. I don't necessarily need comforting in those situations. Sometimes I need challenging. Sometimes I need steering. Comforting is sort of the last thing I need, because I'm not in a place of self-pity. I'm in a place of pain and desperation. And that's kind of different. And I'm somebody I'm permanently looking. Part of my anguish is I'm permanently looking for something to hold on to, because I don't want to be there. Ow. I don't want to be there. I'm desperate. And that desperation is so freaking painful, to add it to the physical pain as well, So people in my life who could offer me things to hold on to, who can help me break through the indecisiveness and be, what is my next step? That is what is helpful for me. Who can hear me out if I need to have a bit of a fall apart on the phone. And then helping me see that next step. So later in the day, in the evening, Anna finishes work about 6 o'clock. I'm still going. I've made it home. I'm again curled on the sofa, just like trying not to do anything ridiculous and just cope with my pain. And she's trying to, you know, she did very well. Like, let's just be honest. This is sort of the first time we've dealt with this. And, you know, during the day it'd been very difficult. But at that point, clearly she got herself into a place to be able to approach me in a level-headed space. And, you know, it was just helping me. It was hearing me out and helping me break apart what is the next step, you know. And she was saying, you know, why don't you just put the TV on and watch something? And I'm like, I can't do that. Nothing is interesting me. I can't sit still. It's just going to make me feel more agitated. Then I was like, okay, maybe I'll get on the spin bike. So we actually hung up with the intention of me getting on the spin bike. What I actually ended up doing, me again, that's sad. I'm sorry for myself. Basically what that is the doctors. It's supposed to be for my hand, but I can't take that right now, can I? Shame. It's very hard to get hold of doctors these days. So yeah, so I ended up writing a song. I write a lot of songs, and well, that's not true. I used to write a lot of songs. I have written a lot of songs. I think I've written about 100 songs or something. And yeah, I wrote a song really trying to build myself up, and it doesn't always happen. You know, sometimes I'll pick up an instrument and I'll sort of just play chords, or, you know, this thing. People tend to like me bringing this thing out, the handpan. I'll have a little bish bash bosh or whatever. Let's have a look. Whatever. And it helps with like a melody, or finding chords that sort of help me express my emotion can be really good. Other times it's really freaking frustrating because I just can't catch it. But, you know, for me as a songwriter, essentially, they just come out of me, and I can't even, I don't know, like sometimes I'll get half a song, you know, particularly when I'm walking. I wrote a coast to coast song when I was walking the coast to coast. These are very private, like no one knows these except the people right here. Yeah, I wrote a song called the Coast to Coast Song, which is obviously all about walking the coast to coast trail. We will get to trails in a bit, you know, and I've all sorts of different songs. Like I've written Anna songs, I've written songs about, you know, pushing through, I've written songs for my faith, whatever it is. And yeah, songs are good, but sometimes I can't catch it. But anyway, I managed to catch it on Monday, which was super cool. And I spent like 2 hours just faffing around and writing this song. What did I even call it? It goes, how does it go? So I'm falling on my knees and I lift my hands, calling out my heart to the heavens high. Shooting stars and eagles passing me by as I soar on the wind. I was born to live and not just dream. When things aren't what they seem to always believe, I will find a way to laugh and sing, because that's who I'm meant to be. Like, that's the chorus. Obviously, it's the song. So, yeah, Frothy Coffee song. There you go. Patrons know the Frothy Coffee song. When I wake up in the morning and I'm busy in my head, I need some coffee to get me out of bed. Oh, it brings me such joy, that frothy coffee, that it made me write this song. Frothy coffee, I'll start working when you do. Anyway, whatever. So yeah, that's the Frothy Coffee song, which is fun. So yeah, no matter how I go, there is something to grab onto, but it sometimes just takes the entire day and just counting every heartbeat in order to get that. But thankfully I did. It came my way, and I'm very grateful for that. So that gave me something to hold on to. Then I ate food, then I went to bed. So that was my day. How about you? And then Tuesday, I was so fragile, but I got through it, and here we are today. So yeah, doing my very best to deal with the pain right now, and yeah, it's hard. I fluctuate between being absolutely determined and blazing into the situation with my swords out, and I'm gonna find a way. And other times I'm just like, I just can't take it. So yeah, like possibly how I'm going to be once this live session finishes. I'm in a lot of pain right now. So let's change the subject up. I'll stop talking about myself. So I know a lot of people are very interested to get hiking. You know, what I'm really trying to do with this channel is actually bring it back. I feel like we've gone to the whole, this is all the awesome hiking things, you know, yada, yada, yada. But actually, I want to help people. I want to guide people and take people's hands from how to go from, okay, I've seen it. That's a cool YouTube video. Maybe I could do something like that, to then actually doing it. And I'm shooting different videos. We've got lots of different ideas. But one of the ways that I think is amazing is guidebooks. So the internet is a fantastic resource. There's so many different things on here, but that is partly the problem. There's so many different things on it. And it's tricky, because being able to unpick that and find the stuff that works for you is sometimes very overwhelming, you know, especially if you're dealing with a lot of stimulation stuff anyway. I mean, and again, another thing I struggle with is I'm diagnosed with hypermobility syndrome. My joints are very loose, and it's not just that, but that hypermobility syndrome, part of the deal is it has a knock-on effect to your mental and physical well-being. So essentially what happens is all the feedback that your brain is getting, one medical person says you're getting 800 times the feedback from your body in every given second than a normal person, which is insane. So my brain is constantly processing a lot more information than most people, hence why I get overwhelmed very quickly. And so, you know, if I'm then on the internet and I'm trying to find something and I can't find it, or it's just there's so many different things to look at and ways to go, it's just like no. So one thing I can do is turn to books, and I love books. I'm a big believer in books. And can I just say, if you're inspired by anything in this video, please can I just say, like, obviously things like Amazon is a lot cheaper, but there's so many like small businesses, even Waterspoons and WH Smith, you know, trying to buy from places that actually sort of stick to the true brand. I think it's just so important, especially as a small business owner. Let's support our small businesses. If you've got a bookstore near you, they'll order something in. So let's get down to books. So first up, you know, I wanted to just run through a few of the guidebooks I've got here. I have a shelf with multiple layers full of guidebooks. So I've just bought a few things. So first of all, there's two main brands that I generally follow and I love when it comes to the guidebooks, and you will probably know both of them. Oh, where did all of those go? Oh, they're there. So the first is, what are they called? Trailblazer. Here we go. So Trailblazer, I've used these guys for many years. They were actually the first guidebooks that I used. They sponsored me for my National Trails Challenge way back in 2016. Drink the liquid. And basically what I love about these guys is I think they're really easy to use. So Thames Path here, for example. So you can see, generally speaking, they've got like an introduction. Try and do this so you can see it, shall we? All sorts of different things here. Pictures. And then it's got it's the thing with these Trailblazer books is generally the beginning. It is like personalized for the trail in particular, but you can see here is where the hike starts. So if you're really finicky about weight, you could rip that thing out. But then, you know, I'm a presenter, so this is full of information for me to present to you guys when it comes to a video. What I also love about these books is they give you itineraries. They've got basically everything in here you could need to know with regards to getting to somewhere, with regards to kit, with regards to where to stop and stay. And you see here, they break down itineraries into relaxed pace, medium pace, fast pace. So for example, Thames Path, if you've got camping and hostels, you've got if you want to B&B it. And then here you've got all the amenities along the way. So if you want to find cash machine, post office, tourist information, eating place, food store, campsite, hostels, B&B, yada, yada. Like it's all in here and it's just so easy to access. You just go, okay. And also say you're on the fast pace and you decide you want to suddenly go, okay, I don't want to walk from Newbridge to Oxford or Leechlade or whatever. You can just, it's got all the mileages there. So I really enjoy this. Yeah, it's just, these are good little books. So then the other brand that I use a lot of is, Cicerone. So the Trailblazers are generally for trails. They haven't got a very big selection, so that's that. But Cicerone is massive, and I love Cicerone. I love their ethos. I'm currently in the process of possibly working with them. To give you an example, they not only do trails, so we got here Snowdonia Way, which has got all the OS map segments in it and information. And in the trails, you know, again, there's the map, there's the distance. I don't find them so helpful, quite so easy to interpret when it comes to places to stop and stay, because I find the days often just stop somewhere random and it's not actually where there's a campsite or where there's accommodation. So I would love it if they could add that in. But they're beautiful books. You know, they've got all the pictures and things in them. They've got all about plants and wildlife. They've generally got this little laminated sleeve, which is just nice if it's raining and you can shove little notes in the back. But yeah, that's the Cicerone ones for trails. Then they also do those sort of day walk ones. So here, these are two very well used. Lake District ones, got to bring the lakes in. So this is the low level and lakes walks. This is the high level and fell walks. So as you can see, they've got the map there of everything and where it is. And then there's contents, and I've just gone through ticking things. I know you can't see this very well, which is why I'm going quite quick. Contents. Yeah, and then it's just all the day walks with distances. And I love these because, again, it's the OS map. We'll come to maps in a minute. So you can sort of partner it with your mapping system to make sure you're going the right way and you're getting some information. So I find those really helpful. Sorry, I have stupid dry throat. And then what I like about the Cicerone is they're just massive breadth and depth of things. So here's one that I picked up for last year when we were in the Black Forest. Again, day walks. And Germany, you know, OS Maps. Can we just have a massive shout out to OS Maps? Thank you. You know, we have the best mapping system in the world. Can I just put it very bluntly? We do. But, you know, in Germany, these are some of the maps that they use. So they sort of make their own, which must be quite tricky. It must take a lot of work, but does the job. Again, all sorts of different day walks in there. I use that for the Alps as well in Germany. And to compare, the Tour de Mont Blanc, for example, is a trail I did in 2019. Terrifying to say that. It's a trail that is very notorious for finding up-to-date information about. There's the Tour de Mont Blanc group on Facebook, which is very overwhelming and people sharing a lot of pictures, a lot of different opinions. But I picked up, again, I'm going offline for a little bit. Let me just get the basic facts down. So I went for both of these books and I compared them. And I decided this is the one I took on the trail. Now, the one thing with these Trailblazers is they have not got OS maps. They're drawn maps, you see, which is actually kind of nice because it takes away some of the noise and it highlights like where there's toilets, for example. I circled that, which is fun. And it's much easier to sort of plan your stages with this. But then having the Cicerone was just more, it filled in the gaps in some ways, you know, because these guys do have gaps. So if you're looking for a trail where you can get both, I strongly recommend that because the more you know, the more you know, you know. So there's that I wanted to say. And then when it comes to maps, hang on. Okay, we'll come back to that. Then when it comes to maps, so if, for example, I'm doing the Tour de Mont Blanc or the Thames Path or West Highland Way or whatever, generally speaking, no matter what guidebook I have, I will also take a map with me. Why? Because I have experienced that every single book has a map, right? But if you end up down here, you can't tell where you are. So you need a map in order to orientate yourself around the map. So a bigger picture. And examples of what you can use then are, that's meant to be in that pile anyway. Getting there. Okay, so examples of what you can use. So first of all, we've got Harvey's map here. So this is what I use. I use this map, this book on the West Highland Way, and this map. So the Harvey's maps are really cool, these guys, because they're like sections. So you can open it out and sort of see things and the trail. And if you have to go off route for whatever reason, there's a path diversion or there's rocks falling down or whatever, you can do that quite easily and safely. So that's those. You can get them for all sorts of things. There's the Two Moors Way one. Other things I use in conjunction with, so for example, on the Thames Path, what I would use with the Thames Path, I don't have the Thames Path one here. I literally just grabbed a random selection, is these guys, which are the A to Z books. So these are essentially OS maps, but in a book form, which is super cool. They're really accessible, really easy to use. The main trail you're following, that's the yellow line there. Yeah, all sorts of different stuff there. And it's just so easy to access. So say I was like, oh, okay, I've ended up at Morehouse Farm. Morehouse Farm isn't where I'm supposed to be. Oh, Morehouse Farm is further north than where I want to be. You wouldn't necessarily be able to see that in here, but you can see it in here. So skadoosh. That's that. Sticking with the books, other things you can get, you know, every trail is different, and that's what's funny about it. So there's these guys, which are, what are these, backpacking something or other? Oh, rucksack readers. So Snowdonia Slate Trail, Robbery Way. This is what I use for the Robbery Way. Essentially, it's just a flip book. And again, I had a Harvey's map to go with that. So it's got all the information that can just be helpful. And at the back, it's got a big pull-out map. So that's kind of nice. Great. Other things, these are the national trails, designated ones. So Trailblazer have all of these, but national trails can be, well, so you could end up with a Trailblazer, national trails, and a Cicerone of the same trail. But hey, why not? Support the businesses. So national trails, again, they're slightly different. They're, OS map data. Who actually publishes them? Colin? No, that's the writer. Anyway. So again, these are very similar. All of them. They've got OS map extracts information. I used this one on the Yorkshire Wild Way, which was good, but I genuinely prefer the Trailblazer. I think these are good ones, but yeah, there. That's that. Cool. And then that's kind of it. Oh, no. One more set of guidebooks is these guys, and these are by... Who are these by? Vertebrate Publishing. Well, that's easy to say, isn't it? But essentially, again, day walk ones. So quite like these. Have I used these? I haven't actually used these. I've used this in the Peak District once or twice. Just day walks with little OS map extracts. Again, if I can get to one. Here we go. There you go. So that's your entire walk. So again, that is quite a large scale. So it's quite zoomed out. So you're going to want to have a map to partner with that. But that's just a whole bunch of different types of books you can get. Just trying to put some familiar names out there. And then other map. Oh, no, wait. There's more books. So I love these guys. These are so fun. These are these tiny little top 10 walk leaflet book things. And they're really easy walks in general. Just short walks, like 5-10 miles, whatever. Little OS map extracts. That's a Waterfalls one. Here's the Yorkshire Dales, Fell Walks, Trossachs, Hill Walks and Easy Summits, Lake District High Fells. Those are great. What's this one? Ridge Scramble, Snowdonia. I love these because they genuinely fit in your pocket, and those are what I'll use most of the time when I'm out on the trail. And then I'll have the OS map tucked away. Whip that out when I really need it. Cool. This one, again, is something similar for Scotland. Not the biggest fan of this book, I have to say. I felt the timings were all off. Southern Highlands by Nick Williams. There's just not enough information in it. And this is one where it's like, actually, do you know what? Even his little sketches were just rubbish in terms of actually helping us really figure ourselves out. We had to spend a long time looking at the map to plot everything before we even went. We got there. So it's a walk idea book, in my opinion. That's that. So then now let's start to wrap this thing up with some maps. So we talked about Harvey's maps. This is what they look like if it's not a trail in general. This is a Lake District 1 to 40 scale. So you can see the lakes. That is Earl's Water. Beautiful. Oh, Lake District. Oh, Lake District. I look over there because I have a sunrise picture of the Lake District with cat bells and some frost and snow. It's very nice. Okay, next up, as we talked about, OS maps. This is a common OS map. Usually my stuff ends up shredded. I love it. I don't like things looking new because do I look like new to you? So these are great. Obviously, these are what most people have used an OS map, 1 to 25 scale in general. Yes, good. But you can also get the Explorer series. So these are much more hard-wearing and durable, and you can get them wet. But they're just a lot bulkier, and I find them quite annoying sometimes, and they're just like spring in your face. But they're cool if you want to use like a marker pen and mark things on, or if you're working with kids, then you can obviously rub things off. So that's my Dartmoor one, which I'm planning the Dartmoor Way on. So that's those. And then if you're looking to do sort of road trips or plan something bigger, you can get these Marco Polo ones. So this is Iceland. I'm giving you some hints for some future stuff here. I tried not to grab future things, but there we go. So you can see there's the north of Iceland. There's the south of Iceland. Big things coming our way, people. And then again, internet. Oh, hang on. Then we've also got these guys, which are the Footpath series. These are really hard to source. But they're massive, 1 to 16. Again, they're just the OS map blown up. So this is a Coleridge Way. which we walked last July, 51 miles from Netherstowey to Linton and Lynmouth. So those are fun. Actually, really kind of cool. There should be more of those about. And then again, international can be very different. This is the Freinstag in Germany, which we didn't end up doing, but we will at some point. You can see the maps are very different. And you can't quite see that, all the information that I can't read because it's in German. But yeah, they've put the colours on there and you can follow it basically. But actually, generally, if things are signed, then all good. So there's 2 of those, which I like the feel of these. Again, sometimes I love my life. So there we go. I really wanted to just cover that quickly for you. I'm getting numb legs now because there's so much out there and it can be a bit overwhelming. So hopefully by just overwhelming you, I've given you some food for thought on what you can do in order to get started. So, you know, I have videos on how to pick and plan a trail, but essentially, you know, my number 1 piece of advice is have a look at some different stuff. Like maybe I love books, buy books. Books are great. They're an awesome way to plot your progress as well. Buy a trails book, you know, or if you need to use the internet to write some things down and find out more information about different trails that interest you. Then get the books, read through the books, plot the routes, get familiar with the names. You know, it's so cool because it means when you get on the trail, it's so much more of an immersive experience. You know, Anna's always like, why are you always looking at the map? And I love looking at the map because I can see on the map, like, oh, look, there's a tumuli over there. Let's go see that. Tumuli is usually a Bronze Age burial mound. Oh, look, there's a Roman hill fort. Oh, look, there's a little copse of wood. Let's go see if there's some bluebells. Oh, look, there's an English heritage site or a National Trails property or whatever, a castle. I love castles. That's why I look at the map a lot. You know, it's not because I'm lost. Sometimes, not always. So that's a bit of a wrap with that. I have proper pins and needles now. So yeah, anyway, that's enough about all that stuff. If you have any questions for me about maps and things or any ideas you have for videos, then please, of course, don't hesitate to get in touch or comment on this. What I'm trying to do with these live sessions is basically share the next session in advance. So I am literally on the side there sharing the link. That is the link to week 3 of our reboot session. So if you want to connect with people in advance, then please just log on to there. Just please don't abuse that space. I know you're all nice people. I've had a few people who have not been so nice, but they are gone now. So yeah, it's just letting you know that is there. And of course, guys, if you would like to join our community and you'd like to support what I'm trying to do here with Wild, because all of this takes time, all of this takes work, then please do consider joining our Patreon community. I'm so proud of it. I love it. I hark on about it because I believe in it, because it's changing people's lives. And actually, I wish that they could be here right now talking about it rather than it just be me all the time. But if you join, then you'll obviously get to know people from all around the world. And I guarantee you will not regret it. So I'm just sharing that there. Of course, next Friday, the 19th, the hoodies are going live at 6:30 p.m. Countdown's going to be on. Keep an eye on socials because I'm going to be having little news things and yada yada, all sorts of stuff. But that's about a wrap. So thank you so much for listening to part of my story today. It's been very vulnerable and scary. I really need to sort my back out now and, I don't know, stab something into it because it freaking hurts. Maybe no, probably not do that. Sorry. I should be careful with what I joke about on these things, really. But yeah, it's hard for me to talk about this stuff, but it's important because I know a lot of people are feeling crap, and I want to just remind you that, you know, we're all going through it, and it doesn't make it easier, but just know that I'm extending my hand despite being in pain. And that's one of the best things we can do to look after ourselves, is to show up for other people as well. So yeah, and we talked about all the things. So thank you so much, guys. Same time next week, 6 p.m. on Wednesday. Really looking forward to it. Please consider joining Patreon. I'd love to welcome you personally in the next couple of hours this evening. So that's it. Take care. Look after yourself. And until next time, stay wild. Bye, guys. We'll speak soon, all right?